Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Sean Gardner, and I'm a former athlete turned salesman. And on this channel, I like to talk about athletics and philosophy and how they apply to life, basically. Today, I wanted to discuss the idea of athletes considering sales as a career choice, just based off my experience and a couple of ideas. So I have a couple things written down here that I'll go back and forth discussing. Thanks for checking out the channel. And yeah, let's just get into it. So one of the first points I have is competition. I believe competition is definitely necessary in all parts of life, but definitely, obviously, in sports. Um, but it can definitely be necessary in sales. So in sports, obviously, you got to show up and show out every single day. You got to produce, you got to get results. Um, and it can also help you grow within your environment to um, further your career in that sport. You know what I'm saying? Competition against other teams, competition against your teammates, rivals, always is going to push you to want to be better and be amongst better people in your environment to, just get the job done. The same thing is in sales. Competition is a necessary aspect to most sales jobs. Not only do you have competition amongst your coworkers, but you also have competition in the sense of yourself. You always can do better. Each day is a new day for you to learn from your mistakes, to learn from others who have the experience, who may have been there longer, to apply those learned lessons to shorten your learning curve and to shorten your path to success, right? Each day has to be looked at as like a small win. So for sports, it's like practice. Whether you're practicing by yourself or whether you're practicing as a team, that's like a small win for you to bank and feel more adept at the end of the day, right? More capable. The same thing with sales, you get those few clients or those customers or those prospects that you can sit down and kind of pick their brain and get to understand them and get to know their needs. Um, and each of those opportunities you can learn from, it can make you better for the next one because not each and every single opportunity you're going to score, right? Not each and every single opportunity you're going to make a sale, but each and every single opportunity as it is your last opportunity, yeah, you're bound to make something fruitful happen for when it really does count, right? So the next thing I have here is that both sales and athletics is more often than not a team oriented um, organization, right? So, of course, you have your individual sports, and of course, you have your individual sales jobs, right? But for the most part, most sports teams and most sales environments are team based. You always have support, you know, where there is one person who may be lacking in something, there's always someone else who can either show them a different angle, offer their guidance and how to improve. So having that team is always going to be necessary for growth. You're always going to have your coaches or AKA your managers all the way down to, let's say, your less talented, needs improvement, less experience, I should say, right? Needs improvement type of prospect or a coworker or teammate and everything in between, right? But the fact that you have those people to bounce off of and to encourage you and to uplift you, which is what teammates do at the end of the day, you're always going to be bound for success, right? Now, there's always going to be the situations where it can get toxic if it's not checked, even if it's not channeled correctly. And that is possible, right? But every great team or organization has some type of standard for themselves that they like to keep, right? And yes, there may be a spectrum of players, coworkers, whatever you want to fill in that blank with. There might be a spectrum of them in terms of their skill set, right? But each and every one of those people contribute in one way or another to the overall goal. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there to begin with, right? People may slip through the cracks, but the ones that stay there for longer than a certain period of time, they deserve their efforts to be seen in that regard. One of the next points I have is mental toughness. For anyone who's played a sport, they can definitely relate to the fact that things are not going to go your way more often than not, right? And when they don't go your way, it's pretty much how you respond to it, which determines your success. Now, everyone is different. Everyone channels like their frustrations and anger in different ways. And sometimes it works for people. In other cases, it doesn't, kind of clouds the judgment and hinders their success in some scenarios. However, mental toughness is something that builds the character of the individual partaking in that sport, or in this case, sales for a career choice. Sales is definitely mentally challenging. First and foremost, yeah, dealing with people is not easy. And it takes a lot to get to know people, right? To understand people, understand their needs. Sometimes sales, yes, is about money, but more so about the people. If you understand the people, the money will come. Now, that's not always easy because, again, no matter what your product, no matter what you're selling, no matter what your service may be, things can go left. And then it can definitely become a customer service issue quite easily. And when that happens, for anyone who's experienced it, it's not fun to deal with someone throwing their problems at you that you didn't create, that you're doing your best to try and help resolve. But every solution you get is just simply not good enough, right? That is just not fun. But the way you deal with it can determine your success. Now you can get frustrated, level with the customers, start arguing with them on their level, or you can be solution oriented and find ways to calm them down and get them what they need so you can move on with your job, right? And a lot of that is just resilience, being open minded, listening, right? Everything that I just mentioned just right now is exactly what you need to do in sports. You need to be open minded, you need to take criticism, constructive criticism, right? You need to be resilient. You need to be able to dig deep in times when you don't really feel like you can continue. And when you persevere through those times with a level head, you often do come out making that right decision to gain the success. So another point here I have is commitment. It takes a lot of commitment to learn a sport. And it takes a lot of commitment to learn the nuances of sales. The biggest one being people. If you can commit to something like athletics or being part of a sports team and doing quite well in it, commitment should translate into the sales environment pretty easily for you, because you understand that it takes time to develop, and you understand that it takes time to adapt. Now, you've already done that in your sport quite well. But if you can do that in a sales environment, all types of doors are open for you. Showing commitment shows your employers that they can count on you. And when they can count on you, they'll give you more opportunity. That opportunity can come in many different forms, and you just have to be ready for it. Just like with sports, opportunity can come with scouts. Opportunity can come with any given game, with a particular situation, with a play. Just making the right play can change the whole dynamic of the game, the whole flow of the game, right? So if you can commit to understanding the different aspects of sales, just like you committed to figuring out how to play the sport as best as you could, all types of opportunities will open up for you. One of the last points I have here is being coachable. Now, obviously, in sports, if you're coachable, you'll be able to learn the game, play the game efficiently, think clearly, make right decisions at the right times. And if you're coachable, you'll be able to learn from someone who has the experience and the knowledge to fill in the gaps of where you may be somewhat lacking or can improve on. It's the same thing with sales. More than likely, if you have no experience in sales, just like myself, I've been in sales for 4 years now, but 4 years ago, I had no experience whatsoever. Didn't know anything about sales. Once you get in it, you're pretty new to it. So it's in your best interest to be open-minded and to listen to others who have results and who are willing to impart their knowledge because they want to see you do well. If they see you do well, the company does well. If the company does well, they do well. So it's all just kind of like a trickle down effect where it doesn't hurt them to help you succeed. If you have anybody around you like that in your organization, whether it be sports related or your career, that's definitely someone you want to pay attention to. Now, if you can remain coachable, things like leadership often come from that, right? In sports, once you've shown that you can be reliable, and once you've shown that you can take direction and that you can apply that direction, you start to get more opportunity, not only from your coach, but you get more opportunity from your teammates around you. And then you inevitably just create more opportunity for your career in life that way because you have this label of being a leader amongst your peers and imparting some type of strength and courage amongst your peers to help them see their growth and their potential, right? And the more and more you're able to do that, the more and more opportunities just present themselves to you. So those have been my points about why I think athletes are pretty good prospects for a sales career. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and check me out on Instagram at I am Sean Gardner and check you out on the next one.